Hi everybody, how are you? It's Jay Victoria, the Energy Queen, and I wanted to do a video on some energy basics that are really important for you to know, since I know that there are some newcomers here to the channel, and I am really happy to see your names, the new subscribers. Alexandra, I know you're the most recent one. Thank you so much for being here, and I know that you guys are really interested in manifestation and frequency and abundance, and I have, I look at your profiles, I'm going to be honest, because I want to know you. I want to know who you are. I want to know what you're interested in. And I have a lot of knowledge that I can help with, and I want to know what you want to know. So if you have video requests, please let me know. There's a kitty playing. There's usually a kitty playing in the background, just so you know if you hear noise. My mug says cat parent. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. Anyway, so listen, there are some energy basics that are really important for you to know. And I love talking about these things because these are things that I learned by watching the energy world. They weren't things that people taught me. And I think that's really special because getting info directly from watching energy is just so, it's like a discovery, you know, it's incredible. And I think a lot about Einstein. I think about the things that we've been trying to quantify, understand, and explain about life. And science is wonderful, but it hasn't been able to get the full picture because the full picture of life doesn't just include the physical world, it includes the spiritual world. I call it the energy world. And the energy world is a place governed by laws, just like the physical world. It's a place that is alive. It's a place that is linked, really inseparable from the physical world. They truly are inseparable because the energy world comes first and the manifestations come second. And so the energy world, what happens in the energy world shows up in the physical world. And so for you to want certain results or want a better life or want things to change for you, it holds a lot of answers. It holds a lot of potential. And the beautiful thing about the energy world is it's not bound by the laws of nature as they are in the physical world. The energy world has its own laws, and the laws that it's not bound by are things like time and space, and you know, all the physicality of the world really limits a lot of what we can do practically. But in the energy world, there's a lot that we can do that is beyond that. So a few energy basics for you to know about the energy world. Again, this is not part of any kind of system of belief or anything. It's just my direct knowledge from watching energy and the way it moves and theorizing and testing. I always theorize and test before I teach. And I love to teach because I love getting a better hold on how life works. And do I have it all figured out? No, because there's always more to learn. But even having these nuggets of information can help you understand your life better. And that's my intention here, to help you just put some of those pieces together faster so that you can create more of what you want. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you about energy that's really important that you know is that what we call reality is a reflection of your personal energy. So the reality that you live in reflects your own personal energy, okay? And what I mean by that is that it's not a matrix or anything like that, in my opinion, from what I've seen. It's more like a reflection, a direct reflection of the frequencies that are inside of you. And it's all very personal, is the interesting part. Your energy is decided by you, because what energy is, another word for energy is beliefs. The beliefs that you have are the energies that come into you. And all energies are beliefs. Every single energy in the energy world is a specific belief. And that's like a big thing right there to understand, that basically energy, if it's positive, meaning light, it's visually light also, by the way, it looks bright. What that is a positive belief, ultimately. And it will be about something specific. Energy is not random. It's not just like light or dark. It's specific beliefs about specific things. And they can go in anybody, and they come in and out very quickly. That's one way that the energy world is different from the physical world, is it moves very fast, way faster than you can even imagine. It's instant, pretty much. And therefore, things that have been inside of you for ages, dark things, blocks, can come out quite quickly, actually, even if they've been there for multiple lifetimes. And that's something that is hard for us to understand sometimes, but it makes healing a lot more possible and within reach. And that's what I help my clients do, is get their energy cleared of these things so quickly that they're like, I had no idea that could be that fast, in linear time. We're not used to that. But in the energy world, again, things are very instant. So basically, a light energy, what it is some sort of positive belief. And if you think about light and dark, it's not just like light, dark. There's a whole gradient of light to dark. So there's like light, a little less light, kind of gray area, and then dark, really dark, super dark, extra dark chocolate, not that way, and there's a whole gradient. And so the gradient is representing all these different beliefs. And imagine how many there could possibly be. It just feels infinite. I don't know if it is infinite, but it feels that way, right? And basically, the beliefs are light or dark based on one thing. Whether or not, if you look at them from God's point of view, so God's point of view, I call it the bigger picture as well. It takes into account everything possible. It takes into account future, past, present, all details of all existence possible. And it takes that belief and it goes, is that true if you hold it up against that? If you look at it from God's eyes, basically. We have our own perspective. God has the real, true perspective of the actual truth, because he can see things that we can't. And so in the whole scope of everything, is this belief ultimately true? And if the belief is ultimately true, then it's going to be light, meaning it's enlightened, meaning it's true, actually. So this is really interesting, because what this means, you guys, what I discovered is that positive beliefs are the truth. Negative beliefs are never the truth. That's the very thing that makes them negative by definition, is that it's not actually, if you hold it up to God's perspective, which is the real perspective, which takes into account all details of everything that's ever existed, is this actually true? No, that's why it's dark and not enlightened. So it changes the way already, hopefully, you see life and your own beliefs, because what this means, you guys, is that every positive belief you've ever had has actually been the truth. Every negative belief that you've ever had or still have now is not actually the truth, no matter how convincing they seem. And this is the thing. Our souls are given authority. We have authority in the energy world and the world. We have free will. We can therefore choose the beliefs that we believe. And I like to call it like your star commander ship. Like you're really the captain of your own ship. It's kind of like that poem, I am the captain of my soul. I forget what it's called, Ulysses. But yeah, it's like you really are in charge of your own. You have free will. So you can actually choose what beliefs you choose to believe, whether they're true or not. That's the thing. You can choose to believe a negative belief if you want. You can also choose to believe a positive belief just as easily if you want. And what happens when you choose beliefs is that the energy of that belief, which again is not personal to you, they feel personal to you, but they're not, because they can go in anybody, and I've seen this, comes into you, and now it's inside of you. So you get to choose, do I want light inside of me, or do I want dark inside of me? And it's really your choice. The thing is, do we really choose these things consciously? No. We do most of this without having any clue what's happening. And what we're doing when we choose a negative belief, for example, is we're saying that's true. I believe that's true, even if it's ultimately not true because it's dark, right? So basically, once it comes inside of you, and how that happens too is we have lots of thoughts throughout the day, but Law of Attraction and stuff talks about this too. It's like if you hold a certain belief for, I think it's 17 seconds or something, you'll start to believe it. Well, it is kind of the same principle, except the way I think about it is there's thought, and thoughts are everywhere, and our thoughts are not commanding energy like that, because they're thoughts, they're just, speculations. It's when we make a decision, when your soul decides this is the truth. And we do that all the time, and you'll feel yourself make those decisions. And you do it, the problem is you do that based on evidence around you. You do it based on what you can see, which is so limited. The information that we have access to is very limited. If you're in a fight with somebody, you don't see them crying if they're crying. You don't see them talking to people about it, and you don't see their innermost feelings about it. You just see maybe them angry texts they sent you, and you can draw a bunch of conclusions that aren't accurate off of that. So we form conclusions all the time. And so what you want to be careful about is the conclusions that you are coming to, because if they're negative, you might really believe that that's negative based on the evidence you have, but you have to remember that if it is negative, ultimately, from God's perspective, even if you don't know why, it's not ultimately going to be the truth. And so, but it is in those moments, it is that instant when you draw the conclusion. So thoughts are speculation, beliefs are drawing a conclusion. That's how fast it comes. Just like that, like I showed you. Now it's in you. And you might be like freaked out, like, oh my God, I probably have so many negative beliefs in me. And that's very normal. What I've seen is that you don't have to be freaked out, because they can leave just as easily. The way to get them to leave is to stop believing that negative belief. And this is one reason why we love movies and we love books and we love stories, because you can actually learn lessons. And that's another word for what that is. Learning a lesson is actually learning that a negative belief that you once held as truth is not ultimately the truth. And so we like to watch things where we learn lessons through watching other people do things, because it can actually help us learn in the process and clear our energy, because we'll stop believing negative beliefs through another character's experience. Basically, what you're doing here on Earth all the time is getting closer to the truth. Constantly. You're trying to get closer to understanding what the truth is about you, about life. And that's really the journey that we're on, is really clarifying our own understanding all the time. And another word for negative beliefs is fear. So that's another clue that you can work with. How do you get rid of fear? Another way to get rid of fear is to face fear. And that's one of the first things I did in my journey to start really improving my life in a practical way. After seeking a long time for a lot of answers, I was just eventually like, listen, like I had a lot of anxiety, and I did everything I could, and I was like, I'm gonna have to fix this myself. No one seems to have the answer. And I was like, well, what is anxiety? It's fear. I was like, well, what do you do with fear? Well, you face it. So I literally just started facing fear, and it changed my life so quickly, because I like the way, one of my favorite authors is Martha Beck, and she wrote this wonderful book that I recommend. It's called Finding Your Own North Star, and it helps you find out what you're supposed to do in life. And I read that, and it helped me. I highly recommend it if you're searching for your purpose. But in that book, she said, there's fear that protects you in the sense of there's your instincts. Like if you feel like you have an instinct that says don't do that or don't go there, like that actually is protecting you. But there are a lot of fears that don't protect you. They're actually holding you back. So the way I simplify that is to say, if you want what's on the other side of the fear, then you must face that fear, because that's not something that's helping you. It's holding you back from something you want, right? So that's the way you want to look at things. That's another way you can actually clear your energy, because the moment that you face a fear, what happens is you realize that whatever that fear was is not relevant. There's nothing to fear, because you did the thing and most of the time you're fine. So that is a way that you can actually start to clear your energy as well, is to face fears, small, big, it really doesn't matter. It still helps to get whatever is in the way out of the way. And so that's a bunch of information about how your energy functions, how negative energy gets into you. changing beliefs is a process that is fascinating. I feel like an energetic scientist. I'm always trying to come up with ways that we can change beliefs, because that is the process of clearing your energy, basically, is to change a belief. The moment you don't believe that negative belief anymore, it cannot be inside of you. That's the principle. And the other fascinating thing, you guys, is that, I know I sound like such an energetic nerd, but like, I'm really into this. Like, the other fascinating thing is that when you like stop believing a specific negative belief and you let it out of your energy, that specific frequency, that specific belief will never come back in, because your soul is constantly in the state of learning. And when it lets out something, it recognizes that energy, that belief, as foreign and not true. And remember, you're always seeking the truth, so it won't let that back in, meaning that forevermore you're going to be only clearer and clearer. The more you let go of negative beliefs, the clearer your energy gets. And the other thing is that, I'm going to circle back to the reality creation in a second, but basically that's why energy clearing is important as well. And that's the work that I've developed, is being able to actually dissolve the negative beliefs through combining it with a positive frequency, because the positive and negative can't be in the same space physically at the same time in the energy world. So I have a method, I call it Energy Queen Alchemy, that actually dissolves negative energy on direct contact. And your energy is so layered, but you can actually get like a facial, basically clearing out of a bunch of negative energy instantly that will never return. And so I've watched my clients, I've been doing this for 6 years now, coming up on 6 years, and it's always an up level. No one ever goes back. You never go back. And so it's really fascinating work to be able to clear people's energy and watch them let go of negative beliefs. The beliefs change and they literally stay that way. And you just completely keep going up from there. But the reality creation is really interesting, because it is, again, like whatever's inside your energy personally is what will show up in your reality. And that's why what happens in your reality, we think it's that thing making me feel a certain way, when in truth, it's the other way around. What's in you will show up. And it's called a trigger. If it's something negative, it triggers something in you. But what we don't realize most of the time is that that thing on the outside didn't put that feeling in you. It was that frequency in you, that belief in you, that is showing up in your reality. So this is the cool thing. By getting clearer energy, however you do it, changing your beliefs, learning lessons, facing fears, getting your energy cleared, updates and upgrades your reality to make it more positive. Because the clearer your energy is, the more you will see things in your reality that reflect your energy. If your energetic state is positive, you're going to see things that make you feel more positive, less things that make you feel negative. And the things that are clearing out are the things that make you feel negative. Fascinating, right? I almost want to say it quietly because it feels like a secret of life. But that's how it's always happening. And I've helped people with so many things. I'm constantly working on things in my life. Basically, it's reverse engineering reality. And why are we allowed to do this? Because it's happening anyway. It is just happening anyway. And I've had a lot of questions from people about, are we allowed to clear energy? Like, it sounds like bypassing is just clear it out and I'm not going to deal with it. We're in a time like no other right now. We're in a time, I'm doing energy updates here on the channel every Sunday. I mean, it's a time of immense change. We're coming into a time that I call the new world, where the feminine and the masculine are way more balanced, well, equally balanced. And we have to adjust to that. We have to let go of so much from our souls. And there's so many layers in our souls that need to be cleansed. And it's just time, to be honest. It's just the time we're in. God taught me how to do this. Jesus trained me, basically. It's and I'm constantly getting reminded that it's normal. This is normal. It's normal to work with energy. It's normal to clear energy. It's a helpful skill. And I can only see in my sessions the energies that God even permits me to clear. But what always surprises me is how much I see. That's the role of an energy queen alchemist. And that's my role in my sessions, is to just clear what I see, because that's what I'm permitted to clear. Anything that I'm not allowed to clear and that you do need to learn through your own life, that's why I also do coaching, because you have to figure those things out sometimes through your life, through living. But we're all doing that anyway. And so for God to give us the opportunity to get a bunch of stuff out of the way is such a gift. And I know it's a gift. And so I'm really grateful for it. I'm grateful to be able to help people, and with really practical things in their lives that feel difficult, there really is going to be an energetic origin. And working with someone like me can help to clear out the energetic origin so that you will see transformations happening instantly in your reality. It's just that's how it works. Our energy creates what we see. And yes, we need to take action. Yes, we need to learn lessons. That will never go away. But this is part of the new world balancing, is that the physical world is the masculine, taking action, all those things, learning lessons. That's always going to be there. We know how to do that already. But what we need and what we've been missing is the feminine, which is the spiritual and the energetic, the fact that energy can be practical, that you can understand concepts like this, that you can go to somebody like me and get your energy cleared, just like you can go to somebody and get a facial. It's that practical, it's that real, and that relevant. It's not something that I feel is woo-woo or anything like that, especially when you see the energy world. It makes you laugh a little bit, because you're like, it's so real that like, it's not even, it's just funny that people are even treating it like it's this weird thing. It's like, this is so much a part of our whole reality that we're living, and all of us are, it's just there all the time. And it's just smart to me to understand these things and to use them to like not treat it as weird. It's just there anyway, So I hope that this enlightens some things for you. If you have questions, I would love to hear them in the comments. I have my email if you would like to email me, in the description. And if you'd like to talk to me about one-on-one work, you're welcome to do that. I'll put my link in the description as well. And yeah, I hope that this can maybe give you some things to think about, and that you can make some conclusions. And if you'd like to talk to me, let me know.